Hi, today I'd like to show you these medals. They are silver medals and they show the history of, or the life of Winston Churchill in silver proof medals. So let's have a look at this. This is a little certificate saying they are authentic Churchill centenary medals. And here we've got the first one, which says born at Blenheim Palace, 10th of November 1874. Then we go into scholar days at Harrow. So school days at Harrow, that's a very famous boater they wear. Then we got Battle of Omdurman, I believe that is in Sudan, in 1898. Then we got Escape from the Boers, now that's the Boer War in South Africa, in 1899. Now, Churchill was always revered as a great hero in the past, but recently with this revisionist history, people have raked up some anti-Winston Churchill stuff, so he's not such a hero to many now. Elected for alderman, so that's when he started to become into the Parliament in 1900. There he is, marriage to Clementine Hosier, 1908. And again, on this side, we shall just give you a quick, if you want to read it more, you can do a pause. So you've got the whole history of him here. So these are in nice silver coins, very heavy weight to them. And on the back, they've all got the same. They've got a little bit about the history of each of the coins, or not the history, but just telling you about that coin, about the Boer War, Battle of Omdurman, and these other ones here. And then again, it's more details. Harrow, 1888. Battle of Omdurman. Anglo-Egyptian Wars. Next we've got Escape from the Boers. The start of his political career. Engagement and marriage in 1908. Siege of Sydney Street. Now these are the next ones coming up. Now this is approach of war, mobilisation of the fleet. He became the first Lord of the Admiralty. Development of the tank. It started to change how the war was going. It was got into a trench warfare on both sides with machine guns, so that stopped people from advancing that much. So they got stuck in these things, and it was the tank was able to roll through these, across the barbed wire, and smash through the lines and broke up the stalemate after a while. Siege of Sydney House, you can just see there. Very well, nicely made, these. Again, we got mobilisation of the fleet. There he is looking at the fleet. First tank, that's a nice picture of a tank there. The old tanks. And then the people would go behind the tank, so they'd have the tank as their cover as well, so they could, in the trenches. Victory Parade, 1918. So that's the end of the First World War. Writing at Churchill. He was a very famous writer. He did lots of books. The most famous one is The History of the British People, or the English People. And again, on this side, you've got just a small detail of each of those coins. And then we've got the end of the First World War, victory celebrations, 1918, occupation as writer, so that's his, he started to do some writing. Painting as a pastime, also is a great painter. 30s in the wilderness, so that's when he hadn't got much to do. Then he becomes Prime Minister. And he was a great speaker, an orator. Very famous one about we shall fight them on the beaches and in the hedgerows and all that sort of stuff. So it was something that he needed in a wartime situation. But as soon as the Second World War finished, he was voted out, and the Labour government came in because they wanted somebody that would make Britain whole again. And so they went in for a Labour government to get in the National Health Service and bring in housing and that sort of thing for the working class who are coming back now from war. So he was good for there is doing his painting. There is famous speech in the House of Commons. There's the Battle of Britain, the Spitfires. There we have him again in a very blitz in that pose with his cigar, very famous cigar, addressing the US Congress. D-Day, that was the time when the Allies invaded France again, which had been occupied by Germany. Beginning the end of the Second World War. Second World War again, we've got these details on this side. Blitz. These are very famous quotes we got down here. Again, on this side, we've got some more notes. Churchill addresses Congress, 1941. Then there's a famous picture of him at the end of the war with Roosevelt, I think it was Roosevelt, and Stalin at, was it Yalta? I think it was. And they sort of decided how this end of the war would, and then the spheres of influence of each of these areas. There was talk at the end of the Second World War of carrying on and fighting the Russians after that, but everybody, especially the United Kingdom, had had enough of war. They didn't want any more. And so the war came to an end without invading Russia. Then we got the Night of the Garter. Out of politics. Honorary United States citizen. And again, the coins we've got here. There he is. Oh, there is the altar. That's the peace conference there. VE Day, victory in Europe. Congress of Europe in The Hague, 1948. Night of the Garter. There he is being given the honorary citizenship of USA, 1963. And there is the funeral in 1965. It's quite a nicely engraved coin. Again, on the other side, we've got these little telling you a bit more about each one. I think each of these is about there's the funeral. Each of these medals are about an ounce or so, I think, but they're quite heavy. And that is it. So I hope that was some interest to you. I'll come back with you with some other stuff. Because this might not be interest to loads of people, I'll come back with some other stuff quite quickly. Maybe later on today I might put another video out with some other stuff which I'm just trying to get it all together. I was thinking about doing a quiz where I show you different coins and you have to guess where they come from. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Please subscribe if you haven't. Give it a thumbs up and comment. That all helps to increase my membership, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.